Hello everyone, this is Rainey Bastarash with the American School of Hypnosis, and I'd like to welcome you all to the Telephone Hypnosis Training Webinar. I see we have quite a few that have come in. We had actually quite a response from this webinar. Unfortunately, the majority of people are just going to get it sent to them later on, so you folks are going to be the ones that are going to get it live. So let's go ahead and get started. We see everybody that we have there. You're all able to hear me. We did a sound check a little while ago. This is being recorded right now, so I made sure of that to make sure you're all able to get your recordings after. So let's go ahead and get started. Like I mentioned before, I'm Rainey. You all know about me, and you should all know about Raluca by now, but tell you a little bit about us. We're both authors and trainers of hypnosis. I founded the American School of Hypnosis in 1996. 96, and rather than going through the whole list of all the things I've done, you could read about that later. That's not what you came for. And the beautiful Raluca is sitting right beside me. Say hello, Raluca.
Hi, everybody. Welcome.
And Raluca is also, as you can see, an author, researcher, instructor, and perfume connoisseur. So you can speak to her about that later on if you like. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I want to start out by telling you our story, how we got into this whole thing, what made us interested in telephone hypnosis. So here's a story right out of the storybook. A long time ago, we moved to Philadelphia. And matter of fact, some of you probably remember when we were over there. That's where the school really started to expand. Matter of fact, we wrote a couple of our books when we were first there. We were approached by the Everything Company. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. It's kind of like the Dummies and the Idiots. They have these series of books. That doesn't sound good, but anyway, it's called the Everything Books. And they asked me to write the Everything Self-Hypnosis book. That was our start with writing, and from there, well, matter of fact, you're going to see the result of some of our writing, because 4 of our top sellers you're going to be getting as a result of this course. And actually, I didn't tell you. I'll tell you right now, you're actually going to get a 5th one. We have a bonus, a surprise that we're going to give you, but we're not going to tell you about it till tomorrow morning. We're going to keep it as a surprise until we get to that part of the training, and you'll see why. So anyways, we moved to Philly, and over there we had 2 offices. We had one in Center City, Philadelphia. It was actually at a place called the 12th Street Gym. It was a great place to have an office. There was probably about 8,000 members over there, and they had like a little place called the Kamak Center, which is a kind of like holistic center in the back of the gym where they had, personal trainers and all kinds of different offices set up. So Raluca had her individual sessions office over there. And we also had a second office I ran most of the time, which was in the Northeast, actually in a place called Bensalem, which was a little town northeast of Philly. Over there we did hypnosis sessions, as well as that's where we held our hypnosis school. So that's the setting, okay? And of course, as time went on, we enjoyed our clients. We were doing really great. And then one day, Raluca came up to me and she says, I want to be more excited. Remember that, Raluca?
Yeah, I do.
I'm not excited enough about doing this. And the reason she said that is we lived in Northeast Philly. The office was in Center City. And again, parking was like $20 a day almost down there. And it was hard to find parking. So she took the bus and the train to get down there each day. So you're looking at almost an hour just to get to work and about an hour to come back. And if it's really busy, a little longer. So to go all the way down there, I think at the time we were probably charging $95 or $100 a session. She says, I'm just not excited about it. So as you can read here in our story, Raluca decided to raise her rates. What would it make you to be happy? And when you're thinking about pricing your sessions, you're going to think the same thing. What would excite you? What's it going to make for you to be happy? At that time, she says, $200 a session should do it. That'll make me happy. So we raised our rates to $200 a session. Now, resulting in not only a higher income, but we had more professional clients. Okay, there were a different grade of clients that we had. And we lost a lot of the existing ones, but it made up for it with the new ones that we had. So we were working less hours, making more money, and had a whole different type of clientele. Now, when somebody's paying $200 or more an hour, okay, these people will actually even give you a $50 tip. I mean, there's some hypnotherapists that are still charging just $50, okay? So it's nice to deal with people that appreciate your work. She was having lawyers, doctors. She even had a circuit judge that was coming over. So we had some nice clients. Then we decided to move, okay? And here's where telephone hypnosis, you can see what's happening here. We decided to move and come north. Suddenly, we were faced with losing our present clients. And again, it was a nice income. We had a lot of nice people. So the next step of that was we decided to start telephone hypnosis. This way, we could take our clients with us, figuratively, okay? We didn't really take them with us. So we were able to take them with us wherever we went. Now, throughout the years, this has been great because she has, like everyone else, you have your lifetime clients that want to stay with you. So we moved, I think from there we moved to Salem, and then probably about, 7 years ago, we moved up here to Maine. The neat thing about the telephone hypnosis is not only have we been able to take the people with us, but even when we went on vacation, she was able to do telephone hypnosis. I think it was about 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago, almost 2 years now. We spent the Christmas holidays in Romania, Eastern Europe. So we're still able to do it there. Anywhere you have the telephone or even computer, because we're going to show you how to do this over the computer, you can do telephone hypnosis. So that's our story, and I'm sticking to it, okay? So let's talk about why you're here, okay? Why are you here? I don't mean the meaning of life, but why are you here taking this class? There's a lot of reasons why people want to do telephone hypnosis. I'm sure you know why you're here, but let me give you some of the reasons why other people like to think about taking this class, and it might give you some ideas as well. Number one is maybe they're doing like we did. Maybe you're moving, and you don't want to lose and start all over with a new business. So that's a great idea. And this isn't just for hypnosis. These techniques I'm going to show you will also work just as well if you do counseling, psychiatry, psychology, any kind of talk thing, coaching. So this is going to help anyone in a talking type business, especially if they do any kind of a session where you need to speak to people. So if you want to go on vacation, you want to do like me, and your idea of a perfect job is to be on vacation fishing the rest of your life, hey, you can take your business with you. I mean, if you have a signal, why not do your session right from, middle of a lake fishing or the ocean? I mean, you're going to have the nice birds and the ocean sounds in the background. What a great session, wouldn't that be? So vacation's one way. Moving, you could take them with you. But the biggest reasons why people are here are to expand their business. We're going to talk about some of the problems that people have had before this came about, but we all want more clients. More clients means more to big bucks. Okay, we want more clients, we want more money, we want to expand, and sometimes we're in such a small area that there's no room to expand. Telephone hypnosis expands your client area from your own town or radius to pretty much the world, the English-speaking world, I guess you could say. And if you speak another language, even a little further. How's that? So there's a lot of different reasons, okay? And basically what you're going to learn, and what we're going to show you here in the next couple days, is pretty much everything, as we call the ABCs of telephone hypnosis. Anything you ever wanted to know about hypnosis but were afraid to ask, okay? So here's the agenda, what you're going to learn. We're going to show you how to prepare for clients, first of all. When I say prepare for them, where are you going to get them from? How are they going to find you? You can have the best store in the world, but if nobody knows how to see it, nobody even knows it's there, you're not going to have any clients. So we're going to show you how to get your business, your name, in front of as many people as possible, maybe even a lot of ways that you hadn't even thought of. So we're going to help you to expand your business and get it in front of a lot of people. Secondly, we're going to help you and show you how to set up a winner web page, the things that should go in it. Now, we're not going to be here to teach you HTML and all that. That's another whole, class in itself. But the things that need to go into a winner web page to capture clients. Very important. That's your, I guess you could say, your first line of defense. People come up, they're going to find your web page. You need to capture them, and you only have a few seconds to do it in. I've seen a lot of web pages in this business because a lot of people, run them by me, have me check them out, and some of them, as soon as you see it, you go, oh my God, do I have to read this? Some of them are pretty bad. So you want to make sure that yours is one of those that people go, wow, you need an impressive, a winner type web page. And that's what we're going to show you how to do. How to deal with technical issues. Technical issues. What kind of technical issues can there be with hypnosis? The same kind of technical issues we can have right here. There could be a storm. Your computer could shut off. Your phone can go dead. What if the client's battery goes dead in his cell phone right in the middle of a session? Talking about technical issues, for those of you that have been following my live program, I've been doing a live, kind of like a live streaming TV program every Tuesday night. What was it, last week? During the middle of it, we had the tropical storm going on, all the winds. The week before, right during that hour program, as we're doing it, you can actually look at the screen. It was a live screen video. You could actually see the whole room shaking. We actually had a hurricane. Excuse me, not a hurricane, earthquake up here in Maine. I mean, you can see everything rattling. I thought somebody had hit the building, so it can be pretty exciting. But those are rare technical difficulties, but you never know what kind of things you're going to run into.
And you thought it was the washing machine, right?
Yeah, I thought it was the washing machine. I'm thinking she knows not to put shoes in the washing machine, but no, it wasn't. Then the neighbor was outside running all around. What's going on? What's going on? We don't have earthquakes in Maine very often, as you can see. I think the last one was, I think they said like 50 years ago, so I don't remember it too well. I'm just a youngin'. Okay, let's see. Dealing with technical issues. Let's move on. Receiving payments in advance. Ooh, this is one of the things you're going to like, okay? With doing a regular office where people walk in, they don't pay in advance. Usually they pay during, just before the session or right after the session. But a lot of times, it would be nice if they could pay you a day or two in advance, but they don't. I remember one day I had a Saturday. I think I had 5 sessions lined up on a Saturday. Now, Saturday is usually my family day or my fishing day. But anyways, I went down to the office for Saturday, sat there all day long, and all 5 appointments stood me up. Did that ever happen to you? You can go ahead and type in yes if that's happened to you, because I know it must have, okay? But 5 appointments in a row, I wasted the entire day. No calls, no nothing. So with telephone hypnosis, we're going to show you how to avoid that, how that's not going to happen. We're going to show you how to actually get payments a minimum of 24 hours in advance. That means the payment goes to you, it goes into your bank account, and it's there as spendable cash 24 hours before the appointment starts. Most people, I get an oh yes over here, most people will have paid usually up to 48 hours or even earlier before. But and we're going to get into that more later on, but we have a 24-hour cancellation policy. After 24 hours, the money is yours, and we'll show you how to do that. Sounding better, isn't it? Okay. Advertising, that's the bread and butter, okay, for any kind of business. Number 1, you're a marketer. Number 2, you're a hypnotherapist. We're going to show you how to advertise all this, how to attract more clients. That's it. You need to have more people. I mean, you could expand to the whole world, but if you don't have any more clients and people don't know about you, it's not going to help you any more than you are now. So we want to show you how to expand this and let people know about you everywhere, okay? So I know a lot of you are thinking, gee, I got to get started learning different languages. Yeah, start learning some of the Oriental languages. China has a lot of people. But, okay, moving on. Let's see. We're going to show you how to conduct a conditioning pre-session. Now, pre-session, a lot of people go, oh, yeah, I understand that. If you don't realize it, the pre-session is the most important part of the session. The pre-session is the conditioning. It's where you get this, what we call them sales, the sum of the yeses gets the sale. You get the person so into believing in you, believing in the product, believing that it could happen, that by the time you do the session, they're already sold on it. The belief is so strong. And we're going to show you how to do that, especially over the telephone. People are going to have some reservations, and we're going to show you how to make them feel really good in the pre-session about the telephone hypnosis. A lot of them are going to prefer it over a regular session. And of course, how to conduct a successful session. Now, yeah, it's going to be a little different than what you're probably doing now. Not a lot different, but there are some things you have to do differently over the telephone, okay? You need to know whether your client's still there, if they fell asleep or they went out to lunch during the session, okay? You don't want to keep on talking and giving your session to the parakeet in the corner. So we're going to teach you how to conduct a successful session, one that's going to be successful whether you can see the person's responses or not. And that's the trick. You need to be successful whether the client is analytical, non-analytical, no matter what they are. And how to conduct a post-session interview. Okay, the post-session interview, of course, is the interview after the session. What do you do from when the session's over to when you hang up? You don't just want to say, on the count of 3, wake up. 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. Okay, goodbye. You want to keep things going a little bit more. Okay, let's see, where are we at here? And, prepare for after sales and referrals. Okay, now since we're dealing with telephone hypnosis, which you can tie up with the net, and there's a lot more things you can do, okay, there are ways of getting after sales. Just like when you're in an office doing a one-on-one session, of course, if you have a store, you can sell books, you can sell CDs, MP3s, there's all kinds of things you can sell. Guess what? You can do that over the telephone just as easy. Probably even easier if you prepare for it. And we're going to show you several ways of getting referrals, because as you know, referrals is the bread and butter. Okay, the more people you can get to refer to you, of course, it's going to save you a lot of money in advertising, and it's a lot better referral, a lot better client coming when they're referred by someone else. So those are the things that you can expect. Those are the things we're going to talk about over the next couple days. And now it's time for a little bit of housekeeping. Okay, now housekeeping. What we're going to tell you is to take plenty of notes. We are going to have at the end of each section, we're going to have a question and answer section. But if you have some questions that are pertinent to what we're speaking about at the time, go ahead and ask them. If it's something that we can kind of throw into it as I'm talking, we'll go ahead and answer it. If not, we'll wait till the question and answer section, or I'll let you know that we'll be talking about that at a future time, one of the future coming up sessions. And you already know how to answer the questions. You can see the little question box. Most of you have written things here already to me. I can see them. Don't worry if you're not seeing all the questions. I'm seeing them coming up over here. So if you have questions, just type them in that box where it says questions or comments, and I'm going to be asking you different questions, survey questions throughout the process as well. As we're going through, jot down any ideas as they come up. Things that you can do now that we spoke about, maybe where you think you could find clients because something I said jarred something in your thought process. Oh, I could do this, I could do that. Ways that you can specifically increase your income. Okay, so jot all these things down, put little red stars after them, and during the questions and answers, if you have some really great ideas, maybe we can share them with the rest of the class. So that would be really great. Okay. So why telephone hypnosis? Okay, the world is always progressing. Technology keeps on growing whether we do or not. Okay, you can see here from the ape all the way to the, I love this picture because the ape's all stooped over and the person in front of the computer is all stooped over again. So I don't know if we're progressing or digressing, in the way the shape looks, but at one point we were pretty tall. But those who do not progress, those who don't keep up with technology, basically go extinct. Those who do progress succeed. Think about it. Look at how things are today. How many people do you know are still advertising in the yellow pages? The ones that do probably aren't doing as well. I remember when yellow pages were big, I had ads in, I believe it was 8 yellow pages from Maine all the way down to Massachusetts on the coast. Back then, I was paying $800 a month just in yellow page ads, and most of them were like picture ads. You needed it. That was the way to make business. If you didn't have a good showing in yellow pages, you weren't going to make a business. Now, today, the new yellow pages is the web pages. So you're going to have to find a way to, or we're going to show you different ways, but if you're not on the web, you're going to have to get on the web somehow. Okay? So if you want to move ahead, you need to keep up with technology. There's so many people that are so afraid of technology. Gee, I remember when Raluca and I first met, okay, this is just, about 10 years ago, I didn't even have a cell phone. Nobody can get me to have a cell phone. And I was like, oh, when I leave home, when I leave the office, I don't want to hear from anybody. Well, not only do we have cell phones, I mean, just in this room that I'm speaking to you right now from, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 computers, okay, and we have the iPhone, okay, so we're very high technology because you have to if you want to stay in business. You need to keep up with it. Let's see. Here we go. So why telephone hypnosis? Going on with that topic a little bit, what I want to talk about right now is basically the top 6 reasons. Now, when I say 6 reasons for failure, these aren't reasons that you're going to fail, okay? Don't worry about that, okay, because we're going to talk about positive things in a moment. But this is the top 6 reasons that most people that are not successful, who have called me and were complaining about how things weren't working out, these are the top 6 reasons why they said they weren't successful, okay? Top 6 reasons, or what I would call excuses, okay? And we're going to talk a little bit about them before we move on to a lot of other things. So the first one is not enough business in their area. The population is too small. I'm sure you've probably heard this yourself with a lot of people, maybe in your area, maybe some of the less successful ones. They use it as an excuse of why they're not successful. Oh, there's not enough business. I remember a gentleman wrote me a letter, about a year ago. He was interested in being an instructor, and it was in Singapore. And when he found out I didn't have protected territories, oh, you mean I can't have all of Singapore? There's not enough business. We only have, like, I think it was 6 million people or something like that. It's like, hello? The reason we don't have protected territories is so you can travel and still work when you travel. You can go to Florida, go on vacation, do a school, and yes, it's a write-off. Isn't that nice? And it'd be terrible if Florida was a protected territory by somebody who's not doing anything with it, and no one else can either. So, again, that's just one of the many excuses. Now I'm going to give the story about back in the day when I started out. I started out in a town called Springvale, Maine. At the time, I think it had a population of about 10,000. And the adjoining town, like not big enough to be a city, had about 30,000, which was Sanford. And I was able to make quite a good full-time living in that population. So again, one person's opportunity is one other person's excuse, I guess you could say. The second biggest reason is too much competition. Oh, how can I make a business? There's so many other people out there. For those of you that have known me, I've said many, many times, the only competition you have is yourself. The competitive mind is not successful. The creative mind is successful. The competitive mind it's negative. Competition or competitive in that way is not healthy. When I started in Springville, or actually we moved to Sanford, to the big city, 30,000, there were 7 other hypnotherapists in the area, in that town. 7. And as things turned out, I was pretty much the only full-timer. I was even referring business to a lot of these other guys because I had too much business, and in turn, they would refer business back to me, which is kind of nice. So I was creative in finding a way to work with them, and it ended up helping me because since most of them were part-timers and had other jobs, if they couldn't do a session because they were working or something, they'd refer them my way, so that was nice. So too much competition is the second one. Number 3, they live in a Bible Belt. Oh, boy. How many of you live in a Bible Belt area where everyone's so religious and they're scared of hypnosis? Don't be bashful. Okay. The Bible Belt area, I'm sure we'll have some of them coming in. Do you realize what I found is people that live in really religious areas do even better with hypnosis than people that don't. Why? Because they're curious. When I had my office in Sanford, I actually, eventually I started to rent this big office. It was a pharmacy that went out of business. So it was a huge place, 75 feet long, 2 floors. But the building right next to me, directly beside me, sharing a driveway, was St. Ignatius Church, okay? Sanford is a very, very religious area. Churches, those big, huge, almost like castle-type churches all over the place. Oh yeah, I get a lot of looks. People would walk out of church, they get up front of my window, cross their arms, and look in my window with that stare, and they'd shake their heads. And some of them would cross the street to walk on the sidewalk because they were afraid I was going to put a hex on them or something. But when I did past life regression groups or any kind of metaphysical type group, unbelievable. My very first one, I just advertised in my window, and I got 35 people. Now, I wouldn't have gotten that in a non-religious area, I don't think. It's just that they're so curious, they want to find out about it. So what one person might see as an excuse can be a blessing. So don't worry about if you're in a Bible belt. And besides, with telephone hypnosis, you're going to get beyond the belt, okay? You're going to get above and below the belt. So from the hat to the shoes, how's that? The sessions are too expensive. People that are saying sessions are too expensive, to me, it's usually their hang-up, not the client's, okay? If sessions are too expensive, they're just going to go see somebody else. They're not going to complain to you. The ones that are complaining to you is because they want you to give them a deal. And most people that you give a deal to aren't going to follow through anyways. If you do something for very little or nothing, it's worth very little or nothing. What I find is the more you charge, the better experience it is for the client and the more he's going to try. Think of two people wanting to quit smoking. One of them, you charge him $50, and he gets out and he starts to have, cravings and everything. He's probably going to smoke a cigarette because $50 is only a few packs of cigarettes anyway. But if you charge the same guy $500, he's going to think twice before he smokes that cigarette. He's going to try a little harder. So the sessions are too expensive. You need to do what you're comfortable with. If you feel you're comfortable with $200, charge $200. If you're comfortable with $100, charge $100. But if you don't think you're worth a certain amount, you're probably not going to feel comfortable selling it. So number one, work on yourself, but do what's comfortable for you, okay? To me, rule of thumb is you find out what the others are charging and charge at least $20 more. You want to be the higher paid one. Now, are you worth that much more? Well, I'm going to show you a way to be I guess you could say, but I'm going to show you ways that people will look at you as the top of the heap. There's different techniques you can do because you're on the net and everybody's going to be seeing you and everyone else. What makes you special? Well, we're going to show you different ways that will make you special, things that you can do that make you more desirable than the next. Okay. Number 5, it's a slow economy. Well, even in a slow economy, there's still millionaires, aren't there? Again, that's just an excuse. People say it's a slow economy, we're in a recession. Well, guess what? You could look at it the other way. Okay, the worse things get, the more problems people have. People have problems. They need ways of helping. And guess what? Hypnotherapy helps them. So the more clients you should get. Okay, so you can look at it two different sides, two different ways. And number 6, advertising costs are too high. Oh, okay, this is my pet peeve, advertising costs. If you want to be successful, you need to invest in your business. You need to invest in yourself. If you think you're worth it, you need to invest in it. If you want something to make it, you need to invest in it. So many times I've seen people come up to me, call me, and say, oh, I'm just not getting the business. And I ask them, how are you advertising? Well, I'm putting cards up on the bulletin boards in the bars. Okay, that's not going to do anything. I'm handing out flyers on the street. Putting flyers in car windows, think about all those things. If a brain surgeon was doing all those, would you go see him? Of course not. It's very unprofessional. That's what you would expect from Tupperware or Amway, or no offense if you sell those things, okay, but a party plan type thing, If you want to look professional, you need to advertise in professional places. Craigslist, oh, that's nice because it's free, but I have never personally ever got a client from Craigslist or any of those kind of things. You need to be in the newspaper. That's the bread and butter. We're going to talk about that in a lot of other places, but unfortunately, it does cost money. But if you're making the money, then that's not a problem. So you need to spend some money to make some money with this business. And, of course, with web pages, okay, don't be afraid to spend the money to get somebody to help you if you don't know how to do it. You need to have your web page look professional, okay? So these are the top 6 reasons that people have given me why they're not making it. And you know, when someone calls me and gives me this excuse, one of these 6 excuses, I give all of them the exact same response. And here it is. Wah, get over it. Okay. I'm sorry, I don't know who this kid is, but that's exactly what I see when somebody's calling me, okay? They're excuses. Now, let me tell you something about excuses. People are playing what we call the victim game. What's the victim game? It's when you have to explain, complain, or justify why you're not being successful, okay? Personally, I've never seen a truly successful victim. You're either successful or you're a victim, one of the two. How many people do you know who aren't successful, and because they're not, they always have an excuse, or they're complaining why, or they're justifying, oh, it's the economy, it's that person, it's because of them, oh, the Walmart came into my town and all the small businesses went out. Well, guess what? There's a lot of small businesses that stayed in. You know, I mean, oh, this complaining you hear. And what does all this complaining do? It basically, well, let me not say it in advance. All it does is the lack of success or failure validates the victim mentality. This is why so many people aren't successful. They hear things like, if they're not successful, you hear them say, oh, I knew it. Didn't I tell you it wouldn't work? Or somebody says, don't worry, it's not your fault. That's just validating the lack of success. That always happens to me. Or like this lovely lady over here with chewing the bubble gum. See, I tell you so. How many people said those kind of things to you when you didn't make it? And it makes you feel like, hey, they're right. But here's a secret. True success requires you taking 100% responsibility. Your success or your failure is no one else's fault or responsibility but your own. You can be successful if you decide you want to be successful. All the keys you need are going to be here. So, you saw the top 6 reasons why people are not successful. Now we're going to have the top 6 reasons for success. So you notice how they're blank over there, because I'm expecting you folks to type in and give me some of the reasons why you're going to be successful in there. Top 6 reasons for success. I'll even give you one. Did I spell that right? Okay. Because I deserve it. How's that? Okay, there's a top 1 reason why you're going to be successful. Okay, Jessica. Here's what Jessica says. Oops, no, Jessica didn't say that. She spelt it right. Okay, that's what Jessica said. Thank you, Jessica. Let's see. Come on, give me some more reasons. Unless you want to make this first 3/4 of an hour session going into 2 hours, you're going to have to type in some reasons. What are the top 6 reasons why you should be successful? Why are you going to be successful? Oh, there's a good one. Rachel says, let me see if I can spell. So you can practice these things before, but you can't really practice the spelling. Okay, persistence. I didn't get a spell check. That's good. Okay. Oh, now they're flying in. Oops. No, I did get a spell check. Okay, there we go. See, the typewriter typed that wrong. The computer did. So that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Let's see. Because you like what you do. Okay, and that came from Jessica also. Okay, and Sandy. You will be successful because you are focusing. She should put focus. Okay, one more. Who's going to be the one to set it off here? One more. Come on, there's like 100 of you guys here. Oh, gee, I got 2 people here, and they both have Pierre and Karen both got good ones. Okay, so I have enough, so I'm going to put in both of them. How's that? And hi, Pierre, all the way from Canada, by the way. Because I am a professional. Oops, I don't know if I even have room to type in another one. But yeah, is it going to make it? Let's see, professional. And number, we're going to do a 7, and then we'll kind of move on. There we go. Number 7 is, there we go. Karen was talking my language, money. Okay, so there's 7, and see over here at the top, like it says, 7 top reasons for success. And we got another one here. Sandy also put in positive thinking. Great. So there's a lot of reasons you'll be successful, but basically because you believe you'll be successful. Okay, so let's move on here. So we're going to show you what works here in the next couple of days, and we're going to give you the tools. So you'll have everything you need. Success is in your hands. The only thing you need to do is to do it. So I like to tell people the only thing missing from the picture is you. So let's move on here. What is telephone hypnosis? Telephone hypnosis is a hypnosis session conducted over the telephone or computer to the comfort of your own home. So think of that, to the comfort of your own home. That's one of the advantages. It's a convenient and money-saving option to a traditional in-office session. And we're going to explain to you why it's so much more convenient and saves you money in a little while. It's a way to get a qualified practitioner regardless of where you live. An even overqualified practitioner, someone just right for the job. And you know who that is? You. So they don't have to settle for who's in their neighborhood. Now that they can do telephone hypnosis, they can go right to you. So that's what telephone hypnosis is. Now, what is it not? Telephone hypnosis is not comedy hypnosis or entertainment. It's important to understand that. Telephone hypnosis is not X or PG rated. If it is, that's not what we're going to teach here. So I don't want to hear about that. Telephone hypnosis is not a substitute for appropriate medical and psychological care. Okay, we're going to be talking about waivers later on, but unless basically people need to know that, you know, if you're not a psychiatrist or a medical practitioner, you shouldn't be doing psychological or medical type care. We'll look at something.
Yes, I just want to add something to this. With telephone sessions, I noticed that the clients are able to open up a little bit more and they want to talk more. So it's very important to know when to stop them, because they are going to get into deeper issues, and because it's over the phone, like I said, they have a tendency of wanting to talk more because they're not in your office. So you have to be very careful of that, of not going on territory that's not you're not qualified for. So I just wanted to add that.
So you're trying to say people ramble over the telephone? Golly!
Well, some of them do.
Never knew that. Okay. Yeah. The reason we laugh is sometimes we'll speak to people over the phone, you know, clients and different people asking questions. And Raluca was on the phone just recently with someone for, I think about, you know, it's about 2 hours, yeah. And that happens to me quite often. I'm on the phone an hour, hour and a half, and it's, you know, I can see her giving me the time sign, you know, hey, you got to get off here, you know. Okay. And bingo, it's not talk therapy, okay? You want a therapist, go get a therapist. You know, you want to feel nice and fluffy, get a bunny, okay? So it's not talk therapy. Hypnosis is basically, it's the same as regular hypnosis session, okay? As you're doing the session, it's a way to help people doing what you are trained to do. So it's important that we stay within our realm of practice. So before we, that's pretty much what we have for this first one. Yeah, we want to make sure we have time for questions and answers before we end it. But I want to give Raluca a couple minutes, and she's going to talk about her feeling about telephone hypnosis in a nutshell. We don't want her to ramble because she's on a phone here. But go ahead, Raluca. She's going to hit me.
Yes, hi everybody, and welcome here. First of all, I love telephone hypnosis. I feel like I could take the clients with me wherever I go. When Rainey mentioned that when we were in Philadelphia, I used to have an office there, and I had quite a few clients. And they were quite sad when I moved to Maine. Well, actually, we moved to Massachusetts initially because I was their drug of choice, per se. They would like to come to my sessions and be hypnotized for relaxations and different issues. And so when I told them, I was thinking, what am I going to do with these people? I'm going to just leave them stranded like this. I decided that yes, I should do telephone hypnosis sessions, and I love it. I find it to be extremely successful. If it's done correctly, you can do it all over the world. Basically, you're going from being in your town or whatever city you are to the world. Randy's making some signs here.
No. All set?
Yeah, I'm all set. So.
Okay, great. So let's go ahead and answer some questions. And matter of fact, we even have a question and answer thing there. So if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in. I see we have a couple that came out a little earlier. So we'll go ahead and talk about those. But please go ahead and type in any questions that you have about what we've spoken of so far. And we'll, like I said, we have a lot coming up here shortly. So Karen, how can I sell MP3s with my session and record sessions for clients? Okay, I would go ahead and answer that, Karen, but I have a whole segment coming up just on that, okay? Matter of fact, we even have the script for one of your best-selling MP3s that you're going to be using, okay? We even have the script for you. That's another surprise I'm not supposed to tell you about. So you didn't hear it here. I probably should have put that on mute before I told you, but then you wouldn't have heard it, okay? But we are going to show you ways of doing that. Everything from, what to do, how to do it, and actually even where to host them. And there's even ways of getting other people to sell them with you that we're going to be talking about. So I don't want to give too much of that away right now, Karen. Let's see, Karen, you also had another question here, which was, with telephone hypnosis, will I be using my telephone or computer like Skype? Answer to that is yes. You can do both. We're going to speak about that also when we get into the technical type things. But just as so I don't tell you to wait for everything. Yeah, you can use your telephone. You can use your cell phone. You can use Skype. Raluca uses Skype quite often.
Yes, I prefer to use Skype because we're going to be talking about the technical issues and everything. But Skype is I found it to be great, especially for the initial session. Excuse me. When you are doing the intake part and seeing the actual client, I think it's very good.
In addition to that, Jessica, I'm also going to be showing, I'm sorry, Karen, wrong one. Karen, I'm going to be also showing you folks, sharing with you another program that I use that works even better than Skype that you may want to look into. It has a lot more clarity. It's something fairly new. It's been around for a while, but they just came up with some new, I guess you could say, features of it that gives Skype a good run for its money, okay? Being that both of them are pretty much free anyways. But Skype, I think, has changed to where they have a business edition now, which it costs a little bit, but it's a lot better. So anyways, yeah, so we'll be speaking about that, about how to do it on the computer, how to do it with a telephone as well. Myself, I prefer using my cell phone. I have an iPhone. I use that. I feel kind of comfortable with it myself. Let's see. What else do we have? Ellen, is telephone hypnosis like coaching? Kind of. I don't know exactly what you mean. I mean, you are actually going to be doing a hypnosis session, but then again, in coaching, some coaches actually do guided imagery sessions. So not really sure what you mean. It can be. But say, you can do coaching pretty much the same way we're going to show you. Whether you want to do a session or not in this way is completely up to you, but it can be used for either. And let me see. What do we got? You're welcome. Karen, can the client get as much out of the telephone as Skype? What if they don't have Skype? If they don't have Skype, I think the telephone works just as well for me. Whether you see them or not, the techniques we're going to show you aren't going to matter. That's why I said I've done it over the phone many times, and I feel completely comfortable. You don't really have to see them. Sometimes, I mean, seeing them, Raluca likes to see them, but I think myself, if I were on the receiving end, I'd rather be on the telephone because nobody can see me. I don't want them to peek at me.
Well, I would like to see them, and that's why I said I like to see them, but if it's not possible, that's fine. I will use the phone. Yeah, because not a lot of people have Skype or can't get to it.
Now let's see. How about group hypnosis sessions? Sandy, Amazing you'd bring that up. I didn't think anybody was going to realize I was going to be talking about group telephone hypnosis sessions. Actually, towards the end of the day tomorrow, I have a special section on additional money makers with hypnosis. Other than doing one-on-one sessions with telephone hypnosis, I got a whole bunch of additional ways you can make money. Some of them are really fun, and that's one of them we're going to talk about, is doing group hypnosis and even corporate hypnosis using the telephone. So very astute of you to bring that up. Thank you. Well, everybody, that's pretty much all the time that we have for this one here. Now, let's see. It's 2:43 right now. Don't go too far. Get yourself, a drink, run to the restroom, whatever, because I believe the next one comes on at 3, isn't it, Raluca? Yep.
Yes, we have the next one at 3, so we'll take a short break.
Yep.
And then we'll come back.
Yeah, the next one's at 3. Unfortunately, we came up with so much material that we're not having as many breaks as we can. But at least between the next one and the following one, we get it's a 2-hour segment, so it's like an hour talk and an hour break. So you're going to have time to get lunch and go running around the building, whatever you like. So we'll see you all at 3 o'clock. Thank you for coming. And if you don't have the button, if you go to the email, you should have gotten an email for the second session. You can click right on that link to come back in then. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you then.